Okay, this is Ringwalk Media in association with Well Eyes Therapy and Still Hub Management. ADE Oladipo.
It is.
It's very nice to see you finally, sir.
Finally, we've got one. We're going to get one right now.
We're going to get a quick one.
No. I say that, but once I get started talking, it's hard to shut me up. So
Never noticed.
No. I talk quite a bit.
Well, listen, great next gen show as always. This time in Newcastle. What do you think of the show?
Yeah, look, they deliver. I think maybe the last two fights maybe kind of took the air out of the building. I think before that, I thought it was really good performances. I mean, sort of Jeff Ofori, and that performance against Callum French I thought was fantastic. Cameron Vong had a tricky opponent, and probably too tricky in his second fight. And then obviously the last one, I actually thought Jose San Martin done enough to win it. I really do. I thought maybe done enough by a couple of rounds. You need to watch it back. It's always difficult scoring it live, but you could see the reactions of Eddie, Ben Davison, and Shabazz as well. They all were disappointed, and I think that probably tells you who won that fight. But that's boxing.
Although we're not very happy with the first scorecard. What the heck? I mean, Darren Barker's just called it disgusting.
No, it's disgraceful. I said it on air as well. 98-92 is just what are you doing?
And it keeps happening.
I want to run after him and just ask him, but I don't want to get in trouble. Like, sorry, where did that come from? Like 98-92, when I think the majority of the people in the building thought San Martin won. So how have you done it? Look, rounds were close, but come on, it's a bit silly. A bit silly.
And Ishmael Davies, he had a storming night. The game plan worked perfectly, and he's got an English title shot now. Yeah,
I mean, look, sometimes you go into these events and I have to hold my hand up and say, you don't know everyone. I remember sort of speaking to him sort of in the hotel, and I was like, looking forward to seeing you. Because these fighters, they kind of work their way on smaller shows, non-TV shows, and we're so sort of used just to knowing the top guys, you sometimes forget about the boxers below. But yeah, look, he's opened the door for his opportunity now. He's got it. Hopefully Eddie gives him more opportunities as well. Same as Jeff Ofori. You can see him desperate for an opportunity. Like, I want to fight on, and it's good. These are the fighters that deserve it because they come in, they put on good shows, and he looked really composed, by the way. I thought maybe that's just how the first couple of rounds go. I didn't know that's how he's going to fight throughout. And I think he maybe, got his second wind, sort of 5 or 6. Took a few shots as well, but he looked good. They almost looked like there was 2 different weight classes between the two, didn't he? And the way he was switching Southpaw Orthodox just fluidly, I like him. I think he's going to be an interesting proposition for anyone in the weight class, domestically.
I'll tell you what, tonight, Eddie kind of has lived up to what he's been saying the last few weeks. 50-50 fights are where the future is. And tonight, I don't think there was one fight, bar maybe one, that was not a 50-50 fight.
Yeah, I said this to Eddie at the start of the show. I said, look, apart from the Cameron Vong one, and I might have got that wrong as well, I said, I don't know where any of these fights are going to go. Like, it's actually quite tough. And it's funny, I tweeted it and I got a lot of critique. And I was like, trust me, Eddie, I think, is going to stick to his words here. And sometimes that's what it is. Sometimes you just got to know if these guys are good enough, right? We want to see these prospects go, but there's no point in just hanging on to them. If they're good enough, let's see and put them in with good opponents. And I think we saw it, 2 away fighters getting victories, right? And should have been a third, really, at the end as well. So that's what we want. Look, you don't want all your prospects to die. You know what I mean? You don't want to kill off all your prospects, but let's see if they're good enough. And I think a few questions were answered tonight.
And it was good to see sort of all the Tony Sims gym lads there supporting Jimmy Sains. He did really, really well. And a totally different fight to his first fight.
Yeah, it was interesting because Jimmy was on the Before the Bell, so many people watching at home probably wouldn't have watched it and seen him. I think he still sold around 60, 70 tickets. And people might say that's not a lot, but I mean, when the fight is on Before the Bell and you're coming up from Brentwood to Newcastle, it's a lot of tickets. And yeah, different opponent, different body type. I'm not quite sure how long his opponent got in terms of notice, but you got to get rid of those kids. You got to put in a performance to get rid of them, and he did it. And it'll be interesting again to see where he goes. But I think it's good for him as well to realise not every fight, you're not going to be on the main card of every fight or the main portion. You've got to earn that position. And I just know that he wants to be busy, so I wouldn't be shocked if he's out again. I was going to say on this December 23rd card that could happen, but more likely in somewhere in January.
I'm going to talk to you about that in a minute, but we'll just concentrate on a couple more fights on here before we do. We mentioned Cameron Vong. I mean, we said that he's going to be fast-tracked, and from the 2 performances he's done so far, I would agree with that. He's out on the Belfast card as well. Jamie Moore's going to have a job keeping his feet on the ground, isn't he?
Yeah, because he's very confident. Some might say arrogant, I'll say confident. He clearly knows how good he is. You hear sort of sparring stories or sparring rumours. He doesn't care about those. He just wants to stick to what he's doing. And look, they're talking about an English sort of lightweight title fight immediately, right? Louis Sylvester, I think, has the belt. So we'll see what he can do.
I think that's too early, though.
I think so. I almost want to see him sort of just be guided correctly, slow it down. What's the rush? 20. You know, I understand the fast track if you're 30 and you've had that long amateur career and you almost Pat McCormack-esque, where it's like, okay, I'm 27, 28, can I just start the fights? He's 20 years old. He's going to grow into the division. There's so much more learning that needs to be done. But, I mean, it's funny because I think there'll be a bit of a battle here. I can see Sam Jones wanting to push him, and I can see Jamie Moore and Nigel Travis saying, oh, 1 second, no. So there's going to be a bit of a battle there, but hopefully they make the right decisions because there's no rush for an English title.
I think the good thing is we've been in the gym with Jamie and had a bit of a chat with him sort of off the record, and he knows how good Cameron is, and he's been in this situation with all the fighters in his gym before. So if anyone can keep his feet on the ground, it's Jamie and Nigel, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you've got good people there. I mean, even listen to Jamie in the corner there. He said, look, let's not showboat, let's not play around. Let's just get the job done. And it's funny because when Eddie said something about Cameron being good looking, Jamie was almost angry. Like, I don't want him to get that. I don't want him to be distracted because they know what they've got here. But they also know the distractions come. Co-main event in your second fight. You know what I mean? They got to be careful here. I like it. Don't get me wrong. I like it. He's confident, but you got to be careful.
I agree. So listen, December 23rd. Yeah. It looks like we're all heading out to the Far East again. Not the Far East. The Middle East. The Middle East. It seems like Far East because it's a long bloody way. I mean, there's so many rumours and so many people rumoured to be on the cards. We have heard today that AJ is supposed to be fighting Hellenius. Have you heard anything?
Otto Volin.
Oh, Otto Volin, right.
Otto Volin's the one that I'm hearing. I'm hearing Joseph Parker, Deontay Wilder. What else have I heard?
I've heard Zhang.
Yeah, I've heard Jerome Miller, Daniel Dubois, another heavyweight card. I think AJ will fight. I don't know who. I mean, AJ's wanting to fight. He's been saying every time I interview him, it's always a case of I want to fight by the end of the year. He's desperate for 3 fights this year, or 3 fights in 9 months, 8 months.
He's in camp, isn't he, in Texas?
He's in camp. I find the idea of a southpaw interesting, considering his success with southpaws isn't great. Does it lead up to the Deontay Wilder fight, or does that mean you're going another route after? I think Otto Volin's a tough one as well. We'll see. I just want him to fight. I'm desperate for him to fight, and I'm desperate to not fight Manuel Charr. And I'll say that on record. That's a backward step for me. Manuel Charr is not better than Jermaine Franklin or Hellenius. Whereas you can make an argument to say Otto Volin's on that level. We'll see. Otto Volin's obviously coming off a good win against Gassiev as well, a tough fight. So, yeah, looks like
I mean, look, they're superb, spectacular events. Do you think that's going to be the future going forward? And do you think it's good for boxing?
I've had my reservations with it. I'm always for fighters getting paid because I think it's the most important thing. You've got to know your worth, but they pay so much for it, it almost makes me question whether or not fighters are then going to revert back to their normal rate, if you like, and have activity. But look, having gone there recently, it was insane. It was insane. It was nice to see the old school fighters getting recognised as well. And yes, they got paid to be there. So what? They've given me so much joy as a kid. Get paid. So I'm kind of split on it. I mean,
it kind of takes away from those big nights at the O2 and things like that the British public will see. They won't be able to do it anymore in the future if it carries on like that.
Yeah, of course. I mean, look, we're seeing the issues with AJ and Wilder. AJ Wilder could make millions fighting in the UK, but they've been told they can make gazillions fighting in Saudi. And all of a sudden it's like, well, we're not fighting for millions anymore. We want a bit more of that. So, yeah, it's going to be a problem. But I guess, look, it's the way the sport's going, isn't it? It's not just boxing, it's the way all sports are going. I mean, look at the Premier League footballers running over there. Ronaldo's over there. Neymar's over there. Do you know what I mean? So it's every single sport's happening. I just come back from Abu Dhabi and, you know, look at the Formula 1 posters all over the place. So every sport's doing the same thing. And boxers deserve to get paid more for me than any other sport.
It is dangerous, to be fair. Listen, it's kind of been deconstructed around us. They're waiting for our posts.
The disrespect they give to me when I'm doing my interviews, they do this all the time. If this was Eddie here, they wouldn't even touch this. There's a guy trying to remove a barrier right in front of me, and I'm like, well, 1 second, dude. I'm second. I'm the main presenter. Show me some love.
Well, I'm just going to ask you 2 more questions, and then we'll get out before we get thrown out. Great to see Conor Benn, as always, ringside. Lots of to-ing and fro-ing whether he's going to fight again soon. We know Conor very well. He's a good lad. It's just great to see him about with a smile on his face. Do you think that the Eubanks fight will happen, or do you think that he's going to go other directions?
I 1,000,000,000% thinks the Eubank fight is going to happen. Which Eubank? I don't know. But
well, yeah, at the moment.
It could be Harlan, right? But no, I think it's going to happen. I think there's far too much money in the fight. I still don't have the belief that others have that it does a stadium. But I've been told that, Ade, you're wrong, it does do a stadium. I still think it's an O2 Arena fight. But I think there's so much money in it. Conor wants it. Chris wants it. Why would Chris not want it? He just beat up Liam Smith. Why would you not want to take a smaller, inexperienced Conor Benn? So look, I think it happens. I would prefer Conor to stay at 147 and find a route.
Well, the route is Jaron Ennis.
Not that route, another route. Because all those belts are going to become vacant. I think what the IBF have done to Terence, the WBA, they're all going to follow suit and plan a route. I'm not saying in the immediate future. I'm saying 2 or 3 fights time. I want him to do that. And if you go to 160, is he really going to boil himself back to 147? I don't know. But money talks, and there's a lot of money in the Chris Eubank Conor Benn business.
We'll keep our fingers crossed it does happen, because I think that needs to be put to bed for everybody. And I think it'll be a spectacular week as well. And then one more thing. Mr. Belew is off to the jungle. We've been giving him a bit of stick tonight. Have you been giving him a bit of stick? What's he said? Is he off? Is he happy?
He's trying to deny it. I just asked him on air. I was like, you going? He's like, well, they've all gone and I'm still here. I was like, stop denying it. You're going. I know you're going. I don't blame him for going. I mean, look, Tony, as much as we love him in the boxing world, he's one of the fighters that is almost beyond the boxing world. Obviously, the movies and whatever stuff he's done. So good luck to him. It does mean, unfortunately, he misses a couple of shows. I think he misses Dublin and Belfast. So I don't know who's going to be my sidekick, but he's going. He's going to eat monkey testicles with Nigel Farage and all the other D-list celebrities that are there.
Ooh, you're calling him a D-lister.
See.
See, he's going to do you over for that one. What would you rather see him do? Stand on the top of that bloody high building and jump off, or eat the camel penis?
Camel penis. Camel penis and whatever else I can say on this channel. But no.
Say whatever you like.
You know, I just... I think he's a character. Like, one thing we all say about Tony, he's a character, and I think that kind of show needs characters. I don't really watch it as much anymore, but if I know Tony's going to be there, I'm going to watch it, because I know his fuse is very short, and I don't think he can handle it mentally. He's scared of heights as well, so yeah.
Finally, we have some time with you. It's really appreciated, and a great night here. We're looking forward to Dublin. We'll see you there, and maybe we'll have another chat, mate.
Yeah, Dublin. And I'm in America, Belfast, America. And then, obviously, Haney, Prograde, then bam, Sonny. And then Saudi.